What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. We are less than a week away from the start of the LEC season, so it is that time for me to start putting out my tier list. In this video today, we're going to be going over my thoughts and opinions and power ranking, tier listing, whatever you want to call it, of all 10 teams in the LEC now that we have gone through this really crazy off-season period for a lot of these different teams. Kind of giving my updated thoughts and opinions on all of them now that all the dust has kind of settled, I believe. I am still going to be doing the positional tier list as we go. Rather than putting those all out in 1 week, I'll probably do like 1 or 2, maybe a week for the first couple of weeks of the LEC. But I did want to knock this one out of the way first. But make sure you guys drop a like on this video. That helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. That'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. With that being said, let's get right into it. Starting at the bottom, this was kind of the meme team coming into the last split. They ended up finishing 9th, I do believe, but a team below them really made some big moves. I still have Astralis coming in at the F tier. Obviously, they started to look a little bit competent towards the end of the split. I really don't think they're too terrible of a team. Felix came in, and he was really a beast for this team, and we'll see how it goes, but still, when I look at this team on paper compared to some of the other teams in the LEC, I still think they're one of the weakest. I would really be pretty shocked if they made a playoff run or anything like that. So I'm still keeping them in the F tier for now. We'll see if there's any development, anything like that for Astralis, but yeah, I'm still not really excited about them bringing back Promise Q. I really thought they were going to go ahead and replace him and hopefully upgrade his position, but since they haven't, this team still has flaws. They still have some really weak players in certain positions. I see them towards the bottom. The other F tier team for me is going to be Excel. Now, this team has been being memed a lot this season. I've posted videos about them. The move of Jekyll Lad to Nuke Duck was really strange. I think it's such a short-sighted move, and yes, it's definitely possible that Nuke Duck could be better than Jekyll Lad this split, but this team, they're not that exciting. They're not that crazy. One nice improvement they did actually have was getting rid of Torre, bringing in Denick. I want to see how that's able to unlock Patrick, if he can really pop off and perform for this team. I am curious to see how Nuke Duck's going to do as well. I think he'll be one of the weaker mid laners in the league, but will he be better than Jekyll Lad? Worse? The same? Just an older version? I don't know. I think, again, very short-sighted, not developing for the future at all. This team is super memed right now, and, maybe they're decent. They're a little bit better than Astralis, and maybe they even got a little bit better. It's possible they actually got better from this offseason. Replacing Torre and Jekyll Lad was definitely not as good as advertised, but in his second split, maybe Jekyll Lad was ready to take a big step up, and with Nuke Duck, you don't really have that possibility. So they're an F tier team for me. Into the C tier we go. At the bottom of the C tier, I'm gonna have Misfits Gaming. This is an interesting team. Again, last split, during the spring split, they were really up and down. There were some weeks where they were looking like gods. VDO absolutely popping off certain games, having a really feared Zoe pick. Coming into the season, we were really hyped up for Kabe and Vander. They were a little bit disappointing. Maybe they'll bounce back this split a little bit better, but maybe not. Who knows? This team does have some nice pieces in Razork. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This team is really volatile because they have a ton of young, inexperienced players that are really, their highs and lows are super different. I think this team could potentially make the playoffs, just like they almost did in the spring if their players develop, and if Kabe and Vander are able to do a little bit better than they did last split. But my expectations are still kind of low. Yes, this team didn't make any crazy moves to improve, but they also didn't make any crazy moves to get worse, like some other teams out there in the LEC. Next up, I have SK Gaming. I have them very close to Misfits. I do think SK was a better team than Misfits in the spring. I do think SK will continue to develop it and hopefully get better, but again, with the super weird moves they are doing right now with Treats, their MVP support going to jungle, their coach coming into support, I have no idea what's going to happen. I think Treats has an opportunity to be a decent jungle, and I think it could maybe work out for the better for SK. Maybe he'll end up being better than Tinks, but it's definitely going to be a massive downgrade at the support position. Yeah, SK is a really weird, hard team to rate. Again, I think they could maybe make the playoffs as the 6th seed, but I could also see them being 7th or 8th as well. So I have them in kind of this low C tier region. And then for me, in the C tier, the final team is going to be Schalke. For me, one of the biggest downgrades of the whole offseason was going from Abadage to Nuclear Int. I don't really know if Schalke believes Nuclear Int is an LEC ready or LEC caliber or LEC capable mid laner. I kind of took it as Schalke is trying to save some money, and Nuclear Int was on their academy team, so it was easy to just call them up. They didn't have to spend any more money. They didn't have to do anything crazy. They didn't have to go get anyone. This is a really young kid who has some talent and has some promise for sure, but it's not like he's been absolutely smashing ERLs or anything like that. He might end up being the weakest mid laner in the LEC. Now, he is going to have a pretty solid team around him. You know, Schalke was a good team in the spring, so maybe that'll help him. Maybe that'll help him look a little bit better. But yeah, losing Abadage, even though Abadage wasn't that great in the spring as far as, you know, Abadage standards goes, I still think he's going to be way better than Nuclear Int, but obviously Schalke had to go secure the bag, so I think that was a real big downgrade. That kind of pushes them in the C tier for me, but still tons of awesome players around. Kira, I think, coming in could definitely be an upgrade over Gilius, depending on how he's able to do. I love Broken Blade. I think this team's really talented. Limit really stepped up at times last season. We'll see how it goes. I think they could definitely still make the playoffs, even with Nuclear Int in the mid lane. Now, getting into the B tier, for me, it is Fnatic. This team is going to be so volatile. They're going to be so up and down. Whippo in the jungle, how's that going to work out? Who knows? Adam in the top lane, another very volatile player. How's that going to work out? Nobody knows. But obviously, very talented players everywhere else. An MVP candidate in upset at the AD carry position. Hill is saying, you know what you're getting with him. He's going to int sometimes, but one of the best supports in the LEC, if not the world, at his best. Obviously, maybe Spring Split wasn't his best. And then Niski, who I think was a little bit disappointing in spring. Some people think he wasn't. I don't know. We'll see. He's definitely a talented player. Definitely a guy who can pop off. Hopefully we see a little bit more from him. But man, this Fnatic team with these changes, again, really hard to rate. I'm keeping my expectations low, but I know that the sky's the limit if everything goes right. I just don't know if everything's going to go right. Next up at the top of the B tier, I have Vitality. I love what this team did in the offseason. You know, this is a team who was terrible in the spring split. They went out and got crown shot. That was awesome. Team started to look a little bit better. Now they got SLT, which I actually think is going to be my choice for probably rookie of the split. I think SLT is very good. I was kind of saying that Fnatic should have went for SLT over Adam. Self-made, I think, is going to really rebound nicely this split. Hopefully look really good for the team. I don't love Leader. I'm totally not sold on Leader as an LEC mid laner, but I think Vitality has enough talent around them, and I think the teams below them have enough flaws and stuff to where Vitality can still be a solid 4th or 5th place team, and on the right day, definitely pull off some big upsets. At A tier, this one's probably going to be a little bit of a surprise to some people, but I have Mad Lions. Yes, they are the defending champions. Yes, they are the team that went to MSI. Yes, they took Damwon Gaming to 5 games, but I am not completely sold on this team. I know what this team is capable of on their very best day, but to me, this is one of the most inconsistent teams in the entire LEC. I've seen Karzi look like one of the best AD carries in the world, and I've seen him look like one of the worst AD carries in the LEC. Humanoid can be very hit and miss. Elyoya, while he's been great, is still young and inexperienced and can be exploited at times, and I am totally not at all sold on Arma in the top lane. So yes, this team did win the spring, but again, in the regular season, they were very inconsistent, and yes, they took Damwon to 5 games, but look at Damwon's 3 wins. Those were absolute smashings. I don't even think a single game got to 25 minutes. So yes, this team, when they're playing well, when Kaiser's popping off, he's looking like a beast, this team can be very good, but I still think they have enough flaws, and I think there are still 2 really great teams in the LEC, and that is why in the S tier, I have Rogue. This team, I think, absolutely threw in the spring finals. I think it was theirs to win. I think they're going to come back in the summer with a vengeance. I think they're going to be very great, just like they were in the last regular season, but hopefully get it done a little bit better in the playoffs this time. I'm a big fan of a lot of the players they have. I think Trimby is going to continue to develop and see a big step up in this split, and I think this team's going to be scary. I do think they are going to be a little bit better than Mad Lions in the LEC. And then finally, my pick, S tier, S++ tier, whatever. I think they're going to absolutely smash the summer split is G2. I think bringing in Nelson as a coach is going to be a really big thing for them. I know that these players are hungry. I know it sucked watching MSI from the couch. I know it sucked not even playing in the spring finals. That's absolutely insane. This team has the potential and possibility and the roster to be one of the best teams in the world, and I think in the summer split, they're going to go out and prove it. They are definitely my pick for regular season champions, playoff champions, #1 seed headed into Worlds, and I think they're going to be able to do some damage at Worlds still as well. Just because they had a bad spring split, you know, spring split doesn't matter. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. That is my LEC tier list headed into the summer split. Again, we're less than a week away from that starting. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your tier list looks like, because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!